inputs coming in from the valley. Some speculative shots that have been fired by the Indian Army in Poonch, but no retaliation has been seen from terrorists. Indian Army has pushed choppers yet again, and this is the 6th day of the Poonch encounter. 7 of our army personnel who've been martyred in the Poonch encounter so far. This as the army has engaged in some speculative shots that have been fired in Poonch. I want to cut across to my colleague Gursimran, who's joining us live on the broadcast to give us more details of how exactly is the operation now continuing. Over to you, Gursimran.
Yes, the operation in Poonch, Dera Ki Gali, which started on the 10th and 11th of October, has now entered the day 6, and the encounter is still underway. The operation is right now, we are in the Bhati Doria area where the encounter is exactly going on till yesterday evening when some contact was established. But since then, the terrorists have once again managed to escape. And I'll request Gaurav to show you the visuals. This is the terrain, the toughest terrain Indian Army is facing challenge from, because taking advantage of these kind of dense forest areas, the terrorists are hiding and they are trying to escape from the Indian Army. This is one of the biggest operation. If we go in terms of the number of days have passed, 6 days it's been in the recent time. We haven't seen any operation in Jammu and Kashmir going for such a long time, but this operation has entered day 6, and Indian Army has also faced 6 casualties. Once JCO and 6 other rank officers have been martyred so far in this operation, and this is really very challenging keeping in view the terrain of the area. Pakistan is once again trying to revive the old infiltration route where terrorists used to come over to Poonch area using the Surankot road. This is the same area where the Operation Sarvanash was launched in 2003 when more than 65 hardcore terrorists were gunned down by Indian Army's chopper unit, and that was somewhat one of the biggest anti-infiltration operation by the Indian Army post-Kargil war. So now Pakistan is again trying to revive that route, but yes, Indian Army has zeroed in those terrorists. Though this is a 3-kilometer area and all of the areas are forest area, and that's why it has become really challenging for the Indian Army to zero in those terrorists who are inside this. Special forces of the Indian Army are also part of operation along with the Special Operations Group of Jammu and Kashmir Police, and now what they are doing is they are now trying to zero in that very area. The 3-kilometer area was first encircled by the Indian Army, Jammu and Kashmir Police and the Special Forces, and now they are trying to reduce that circle, and they are coming it with checking each and every place. So they are now trying to zero in those terrorists who are hiding inside this very area. And apart from this, many search operations have been launched in the nearby areas as well. As Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police want to rule out any possibility of a single terrorist getting an escape from here, because the casualties they have done, that is something serious for the security forces, as well as the way these terrorists are trained. They can be threat if they enter any civilian or residential area, and that's why all the forces, they are on the toes to carry out the operation and to conclude this operation on priority. Yes.
Very true, Gursimran. Fact remains that this is not an easy terrain to conduct operations in, and the army is facing its own set of challenges, choppers also that have been put into action. And like you rightly said, that no risk can be taken. The army also leaving no stone unturned to ensure that it is completely sanitized.
Yes, indeed. This is one of the toughest operation in the recent time we have seen, because it is not an easy terrain, as well as the situation that has arisen, because in the very first day of the encounter, we lost 5 of our brave hearts. So next move was to minimize the casualties, but on the day 4th, we also lost 2 or more of our brave hearts. So that's why now army don't want any kind of risk that there is no collateral damage. That is the strategy of the security forces, and that's why they are taking each and every step very securely and very safely, so that they can rule out any possibility of terrorists causing any more casualty. This operation in the Poonch Bhati Doria forest is become a challenge, but yes, army is making it sure that these terrorists don't escape, because the operation may take 1-2 more days, but they want to make sure that there is no casualty to the on-site, there is no collateral damage, and the terrorists don't escape to civilian areas. Because if they manage to, the way they have been trained and the quantity of arms and ammunition they are carrying, they can cause way more damage than we can expect. So that's why the strategy is to first restrict those terrorists into the forest area, then to encircle them and then neutralize them. Yes.